welcome back to Perfect Love. So first try, right out the gate, we got the best ending. We're just a little too good at this. Obviously, I have a lot of experience with yanderes. So now we gotta go and not be so good at this, obviously. You shall no longer be my schnickerdoodle, you shall be my chicken nugget. And we're headed to the batting cages now, because that's where we're going. I'm in the mood to swing a bat. I'm not really the aggressive or athletic type. That's no problem. You have some anger to release, don't you? We'll have some fun. Then, shall we? Holding out your hand, Milo takes it, and we walk together towards the batting ring. My personal room, please. Pulling Milo, we head to an empty room filled with bats and a dummy. I thought we were going to swing a bat? Oh, we are. Just perhaps not in the way you were thinking. You pick up the bat and it cracks as the dummy flies backward and bounces back. Milo flinches at the loud sound. Here you go. Your turn. He seems reluctant to take it. I don't think I can. I'm against violence. My chicken nugget. It's not against a real person, only a dummy. You place the bat into his hand. There's nothing wrong with letting out your anger like this. You lean in closer to him. Aren't you angry at those bullies? How they always use you? How they laugh behind your back even though you've done nothing wrong? You didn't deserve it. You never did. All you wanted was a peaceful life. That's how I felt. Is it not the same for you? Just let out your rage. He clenches his fist around the bat. You grin as he steps towards the dummy. Taking a step back, he clubs the dummy hard. And then again. And again. Why? Why do you always kick me? What have I done wrong? And you think you know everything. Just die already. Almost in tears, Milo strikes the dummy over and over again. The rage in his eyes is so tantalizing. You're thrilled beyond belief. Finally, after bludgeoning the dummy, he steps back, heaving to catch his breath. And one more strike. The bat shatters. He screams out, dropping the remains of the bat and clutching his hand. Milo, are you all right? Sorry, I went overboard. What are you sorry about? It's the most alive that I've seen you. From your bag, you pull out some bandages. Give me your hand. He holds out his hand, blood-stained, as you tend to the wound. I didn't think I had so much rage inside of me. It was scary, but it felt good. He looks up at me, grinning shyly. Yeah, it felt really good. He looks down, as if scared. I didn't scare you, did I? If I did, I promise I won't. My chicken nugget. There's no way I could be scared of you that easily. If anything, it made me happy you were finally letting your anger out. This world can be cruel. You wrap his hands round and round. I wonder if there will come a day where you and I would get attacked. What? Why would you think that? It's only natural. The world is filled with violence. One day you might have to strike back. But solving violence with violence, it's wrong, right? Not always. Don't think of it as violence. Think of it as self-defense. Protection against others. Protecting the people you love. You trust me, right? Yeah. Then, please protect me if the situation arises. I will, I promise. And so, the bats continued swinging. From then on, the batting area became our place together. For dates, to let off steam, all sorts of things. And slowly, you taught him. Step back a bit when you hit. It's not good to be too close. It's not fair for someone as kind and as strong as you to be hurt like this. Striking someone in the knees is a good way to disable someone. My chicken nugget, you deserve the world, but they don't deserve you. The chin and nose as well. Everyone feels like they are against us. I can only trust you. And I'm the only one you can trust. The ways to hit, the ways to act. It was fun at first, but it's important to keep each date entertaining. Destroying cars at an abandoned lot, breaking glass jars, plates, and other pieces in a ramshackled house, self-defense classes to fight, protect, hurt. Whatever it would take to train him, whatever it would take to watch him grow stronger. Ensnaring him to only cling onto you, to save only you. Nobody else in this world. Just as it should be. For a while, it seemed that days were peaceful. Milo grew more confident as a person, more brash in some senses. His attire changed as well, more rough and ruthless. Yet despite this, his personality was still meek, timid. It seemed more work still needed to be done. The bullies slowly strayed away from him, not sure how to make of this development. And as they did, he stayed close to you, clinging. No one came near him, as it was meant to be. Because to him, you were his savior. And yet, it wasn't enough. My, you've gotten stronger, my chicken nugget. Those bullies have to think twice before coming near you. You've really changed, haven't you, Milo? Is it that bad? I mean, I like it a lot better now. I think it's an improvement. Are you happy that you've been remade this way? I feel like I'm a new person since I met you. It's a good feeling. I even got this new baseball bat to celebrate. You briefly hear something being thrown before the wind is knocked out of you. You can barely push yourself up as you sputter blood and saliva onto the ground. What the fuck? You feel yourself being pulled out by the hair as you see Milo frozen in fear. Surrounding him are a bunch of gang members holding pipes, bats, and other weapons. Well, well, well. Looks like Ryan was right this time. Scars traced on her face, and she looks you in the eyes. That brat really paid us big money to smack you around, huh? Ryan? The one who's been bullying me all this time? Oh, is that what this is about? He must have been butthurt that you're no longer a punching bag for him, huh? I guess that's why we gotta take it out on this girl, huh? What? He's trembling a bit, and his eyes are darting around anxiously. Don't hurt her! It's me you want, right? My chicken nugget! Don't hurt my chicken nugget! Your vision is blurred and his voice is echoing in your ears. And yet, you smile. Remember what I said? This world is filled with violence. You promised to protect me, right? Are you really going back on that? Oh, looks like your chicken nugget has some spunk. The next sound was a broken scream as a bat cracked into her ribcage. From then, there was nothing but a massacre. The cracks of bones as the bat shattered them, the screams of begging as he took another victim. The sound spattered blood on the pavement below. Milo kept on bashing them over and over again. They tried to restrain him, keep him down, hit him, but he never flinched. The only thing he could think of was how to protect you. And soon, the gang member grabbing you was the last one standing. The scarred gang member flinched slightly, not expecting this meek man would put up such a fight. You smiled as you watched her quiver a bit. As Milo walked closer to her, hobbling a bit from side to side, dragging his now red bat across the floor. His eyes focused on her only. She dropped you and ran, and you looked up at Milo covered in red. His eyes weren't one of a human anymore. Milo. Milo, my chicken nugget. Come on, let's go. You dragged him away from the scene as best you could. You could feel him shaking a bit. Finally, he spoke. Sorry. I'm sorry. You protected me, my chicken nugget. Why are you apologizing? It's Ryan's fault anyways. Ryan's fault. We definitely didn't pay them to come out and do this and say it was Ryan. Didn't you hear what she said? That Ryan was the one who tried to attack me? All because I tried to help you? Ryan. You're right. It's his fault. Oh. Ooh. From then on, the attacks became more frequent. Whenever you were outside, they would jump you from behind. Milo would always protect you as best he could. He became paranoid, clinging onto you more desperately to protect you. Unsurprisingly, it seemed that Ryan has disappeared at the moment, as if he knew that Milo would come after him. Or he knew that we said he was doing these things, and he's fucking scared for his life. What a coward. You smirked. It was fitting of him. It seems that there's no one we can trust. The fact that anyone can attack me at any moment, we can only trust each other. Of course, I won't let them hurt you. I won't let anyone hurt you. Once again, you were surrounded by the bodies of gang members sent to harass you. Though you would never let him kill them, you could always tell that Milo could barely hold back. It's unfortunate that the police couldn't help us. In the end, the only one I can trust is you. I will protect you until the end. I know you will, my chicken nugget. He smiles as if he were looking at the only thing that mattered. The barrage of attackers seems to have lessened. I think Ryan is starting to realize that brute force isn't going to cut it. But he'll have to come out eventually. In our class, he and I are assigned a project together. I am going to kill that bastard after what he's done to you. You walk to him, stroking his cheek and calming him down. There, my chicken nugget. In due time. You're my everything. Why is it all weird? You're my everything. I can't lose you. You smile silently as you feel his eyes gaze upon you. It's working. You pat around your pocket suddenly. It seems you dropped it. Crouching down, you start to rummage under the bodies of the fallen. What are you doing? What if they wake up and grab you? Then you'll be there to beat them down again, right? There it is. You pull out a bundle of bandages from under the bodies. It looks like you're injured, so I'll have to patch you up again. You could have just bought them from the store. You could say I'm a bit sentimental. These ones are special. It's the same roll that I first patched you up with. What? You kept that? He seems flustered as you bandage his arms once again. Of course. It was the first date we had. After finishing, you pulled at his arm. Walk me home, all right? And so he walked you back to your dorm, safe and sound. God, that kid was rough. I thought we were going against a college student. Is everything alright? Did you get the cash? Yeah, that girl slipped it under when she picked up the bandages. That girl's a real freak. Who hires people to attack them? See? Must have something to do with that Ryan kid. Do you think it's some sort of revenge scheme? I don't know, it seemed like more than that. That girl. I feel bad for that Milo kid. He has no idea what's in store for him. For a while, it seemed as if everything had died down. The attacks basically became non-existent, though we couldn't let our guard down. Milo was especially restless, glaring at anyone who even so happened to glance at you. He watched over you like a guard dog, stayed by you as much as he could. No one could come near us like that. It was comforting, in a way. And so, days went on as normal. Schoolwork, fun activities, some dates. Well, at least until one of the big projects for your class. It seems Ryan has appeared again, and he's my partner for the big project. Milo slams his fist into the wall next to him, denting it. The people around snap quiet in fear before slowly resuming their talk. Don't get too excited, my chicken nugget. I should find a way to rip his tongue out of his mouth. I'm sure I could find a way to bash his head in without anyone noticing. Yeah, nobody's gonna know. No one's gonna know. Oh, that would be quite the treat to watch. If he cries out, it's even more fun. He smiles widely, cracking his knuckles. But not yet. As much as I'd love to destroy him in that way, my chicken nugget, I would like to actually pass this class, and this project is a huge part of my grade. So let's hold off on it now, all right? Milo growls a bit, but remains silent afterwards. What was that? Fine, but the second you guys are done... He tightens his bandages. So long as you don't draw any attention, you can do as you please. We're supposed to be meeting up in Cafe 15 to talk about what we're going to do. And I'd like you to come with, just in case. Well, who knows if he'll pull something. Milo scowls a bit, clearly wanting to punch a hole in his face, as if I would have let you go alone. You're mine. And I won't let anyone touch you. The response sends shivers down your spine. You've trained him a little too well. As we walked in, we see Ryan sitting at one of the booths. His face twists from contempt to annoyance when he sees that Milo has entered with you. Strange. He's not in our group, is he? Milo and I are a package deal. Or are you jealous that you suddenly become the third wheel? Ryan looks as if he wants to lunge at you, but Milo leans forward. He wraps his arms around you as if to warn him. Touch a single hair on her head, and I'll snap your neck. Ryan hesitates and leans back down. Whatever, let's just hurry up and get this project finished. For the next couple of hours, you and Ryan planned out your project. The two of you ordered some food and drink, seemingly chatting nonchalantly about what to do. But underneath it all, it felt like you were putting knives at each other's throats. Well, living under a threat of violence was something to be angry about. Milo would watch silently as we talked with each other. His arms crossed, leaning back, glaring at Ryan. Like he would slam his head into the table at any moment. Scribbling down Ryan's ramblings, your spoon slipped and fell onto the ground. I got it. Milo leans down under the table to grab it, not before bumping his head against it a bit. He gently places the spoon into your hand before glaring at Ryan. What are you looking at? Ugh, this lovey-dovey crap makes me want to barf. His hand taps on the table a bit before looking at his phone. His eyes dart around for a second before standing. Well, I got a jet. See you losers later. Grabbing his backpack, he leaves the two of us alone. Finally. You chug down the glass of water after he leaves and slam it on the table. Somehow it tastes bitter, like your disgust for him. He didn't even pay his portion of the bill, that lowlife. Don't worry, I'll make him pay. Though I might break some bones along the way. Forget it then. I need him alive so he doesn't make me do all the work. That's disappointing. Sighing, you fork over the money and you and Milo head back. Let's walk back to the dorms. I have to get some stuff before the next class. Milo nods and holds you as you walk. But as you walk, something doesn't feel right. Okay, so he got us. He drugged us. We're down for the count. Alright, so payback. I do not think Milo is capable of stalking anybody in this state. He would just break into your fucking house as loud as he could, beat your ass to a pulp, and then be like, oopsies, you weren't supposed to know I'm here. So let's go ahead and drug him, I guess. Wouldn't it be fun to give him a taste of his own medicine? Drugging him. I'd rather just break his legs. Oh, my chicken nugget, that does sound like fun. But sometimes it's good to be a little more smart about it. Just think of it as a study date. It'll be fun learning how to drug people. It's a study date? You can feel his hand warming up as he considers the date. Well then, shall we have fun on our date? Let's get going then. Despite feeling the effects, you refuse to show weakness and stand up. You think of Ryan's face in agony and smile as Milo follows you out of the dorm. You walk with Milo to the seemingly quiet part of the campus. Unlocking an abandoned lab, Milo trails in behind you. My chicken nugget is very clever. I didn't even know you could have access to this lab. One of the professors here is very kind. They saw my interest in chemistry and let me use this lab. I'm sure I didn't just steal this shit off of him or blackmail him somehow. As if that were true. You had swiped it off another student while they weren't looking and made a copy. There it is. He hugged into you suddenly, startling you. My girlfriend, you really are amazing. Even after being attacked day after day, you're so strong. It's only because of you, my chicken nugget, that I was able to stay strong. Waltzing into the lab, the beakers and other glass tubes stood watching us. Well then, let's get started. You think back at what it felt like when you were drugged. Dizziness, a bit of drowsiness. The way he did it so fast, and the fact that you couldn't see it in the water. Looks like that bastard learned from before and actually made the proper dosage of GHB. So this is what he drugged you with? He picks up a chair and throws it at the ground, bouncing and marking the wall. I won't let him get away with this. You wanted to stop him, but you suddenly felt dizzy and held on to him. My chicken nugget, are you okay? It seems the drugs still have a bit of a side effect to them. You held yourself steady as Milo gently helped you stand. You should rest. No, I have to stop Ryan from doing this again. Here, take this first. You hand him some safety glasses, which he fumbles with awkwardly. I feel stupid. Really? I think you look quite nice. You wink at him, causing him to get flustered. Let's get started. GHB is probably the most common one. We have the ingredients already. Luckily, you had experience with it beforehand and knew what to do. With the materials here, it seems like it would be rather easy to make. I've always wanted to make chloroform as well, though it might not be that good in this situation. Can't we just kidnap him with it? Knock him out like bam? Sure, if we were in a movie. In reality, it would probably just kill him. And that's a problem. Why? You're such a jester, Milo. Sadly, I still need him for the project. He huffs in annoyance at your answer, but plays it cool. Maybe for fun, I'll show you how to make it in a bit. You pull out a silicone packet you had taken from the seaweed you had eaten earlier. I'll have to check if it's enough, but ketamine is fun to make as well. Why don't we just know how to make ketamine? And as for this, you pull out another packet from your pocket. Seems like it's pretty easy to get Rohypnol if you can pretend you need it for anxiety. Oh no. My chicken nugget is so smart. I didn't even know you had such interest. Well, I've always been curious about these kinds of things. But unfortunately, Ryan did use them against me. Milo growls a bit as you mention him. But now I'll be using this knowledge against him. You reap what you sow, after all. You stretch out, prepared to teach Milo the ropes. Shall we? For a couple of days, you and Milo would sneak inside of the labs. You had to be careful to clean up afterwards, but considering how secluded this lab was, nobody ever came in. Milo, as usual, was a fast learner. He picked up everything naturally. At the same time, you and Ryan finished your project together. You would convince Ryan to have a drink once the both of you had finished. A perfect opportunity. How surprising. I guess since we're almost done, he wants to celebrate early. I'll be a bit more careful this time, and you hold out some white powder to show Milo. Get a bit of vengeance too, then. Well, Milo, are you coming with? I'll need backup in case something goes wrong while we're talking. He puts his fists together as if he's ready to punch someone. Of course, I'll always be by your side, my chicken nugget. Is he still wearing the safety goggles? Oh no. And if anything happens, I won't hesitate to kill him. His voice was sharp and dangerous, as if you were sliding your finger against the blade of a knife. You didn't think you could say anything to convince him to hold back. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that, then. Though you couldn't lie. You were curious to see what he would have done if you hadn't stopped him. We arrived at the bar that Ryan had invited us. Hey, it's... His fake smile dropped as he saw that Milo had joined you. You too. You looked at him condescendingly. Sorry, did you not think I would bring him? I thought it would just be us two, you know, because we actually worked on the project. Well, sorry about that. You smiled in a fake manner and he glares at Milo. And Milo glares back. Ryan looks away as if annoyed. Ryan droops down closer to you and whispers, Cece, don't you think this is too much? I mean, all this for him? I'm not sure I like what you're trying to say, Ryan. Ryan feels Milo staring at him from behind. Never mind. When have you ever listened to me anyways? It'll end up badly, you know? Thanks for the warning. But I know what I'm doing. He turns to the bartender to call for our drinks. How nostalgic. It seems you still remember my favorite. Well, yeah, I'm not a monster. The barkeep taps our drinks onto the counter and we cheer to finishing the project. To us! And another year Professor's torturing us. He puts the glass to his lips. You grab the edge of the glass before he can drink. Hey, what gives? I just wanted to add a bit of flavor. You pull out a small bag and dump it into his drink, not breaking eye contact. What the hell? Did you just drug my drink? In front of me? Go ahead. Drink it. Hell no! You must be crazy to think I'd drink that. There's no way. Barkeep, That's cute. You make it sound like you have a choice. You grab his hand tightly and stare into his eyes. Drink it. What? I know what you did, Ryan. Do you think I'm that naive? Come on. It's only fair. You're crazy. Am I, Ryan? Weren't you the one who did it first? He shrinks away from you and tries to leave, but Milo stops him. And where do you think you're going? Ryan looks back at you, and then to him. I don't know, Ryan. You could leave now, but would you really want to? You push the drink in front of him. To our project. May we have another good semester. Shaking, he picks up his drink and drinks it. His eyes darting, he tries to run off, but Milo stands in his way. Where do you think you're going? Out of the way. Milo lunges for him, but Ryan is able to dodge. He runs at you, shoving you onto the floor with a thud. Eyes wide, Milo runs to you as Ryan gets away. My chicken nugget! He holds onto you carefully and cradles you, before glaring in the direction that Ryan ran off to. I'm going to... He tries to lunge for him, but you grab onto his arm. Bad boy. He hesitates. But don't worry. He's learned his lesson. It would be suspicious if we get rid of him now. And anyways, I doubt he'll ever mess with you again. Come now, Milo. Let me buy you a drink. You did such a good job. Dragging his attention away from Ryan, you meet Milo's gaze. You just wanted him to look at you. And only you. And so college life went as normal. Whenever you saw Ryan, he would hurriedly walk towards the opposite direction. And Milo started to take up cooking, strangely enough. He had always said he would make a good house husband. He would proudly give you his food and let you taste test it. I want to be able to cook for you when we get married, he'd say, blushing. Every dish he made was more delicious than the last. But you started to realize? Where are you going? Don't you remember that you have classes today? Lunch? What are you talking about? It's almost dinner. Are you doing okay? Let me take you back to your dorm. You've been feeling off lately. That your memory was deteriorating. Something he must have done. He was using your lessons well, wasn't he? And while Milo was concerned over you, you could feel him smiling at the results. A protective dog looking after his master. And you couldn't be happier. And so for a while, nothing else out of the blue went on. It was always just you and Milo. Weirdly enough, Milo seemed to cook for you less and less. The strange fog that you had gotten before was slowly lifting, and it was infuriating to you. More affectionate, he was hugging and clinging to you, as if he was resisting it, as if he was stopping himself. How sweet, how cute, how lovely, how kind, how weak, how pathetic, how insufferable, how disgusting. So close to creating the perfect love, and yet he was backing out. It seemed to you, despite how much he had changed, the old, weak Milo was still holding himself back. How sad. It seems you haven't pushed him enough. You had to break him. Well then, there was only one thing to do. Push him to the brink. Just one final push. He was walking with you across campus as usual, looking around, fidgeting a bit. Is there something on your mind, Milo? Milo stops for a moment and hesitates. You've really changed me for the better. Before I was such a weakling, pushed around constantly. But now, no one will dare do such a thing. He holds your hand tenderly. And now, I'm happier than ever. It's all thanks to you. He leans his head against your shoulder. I want to make you mine. We're going to be together forever, right? You breathed out slowly as you heard his words. Poor, simple Milo. His fate was sealed for good. Just one more push. I wish that were true, Milo, that we could be together until our graves. Let's be honest here, my chicken nugget. Do you really think that will happen? Do you really think I would never break up with you? Milo. No! No! I won't let you. You're mine. You're my one and only girlfriend. After all those times I protected you, after all I've done. You're just gonna throw me away? Like trash? Like junk? You and I promised you would be together. If it's not with you, I would rather kill you myself. I knew it. I should have put a higher dosage. Wouldn't you just rely on only me then, so I could always take care of you? So I would be your entire world? Milo, there's nothing left for me. I only exist for you, nobody else, only you. Without you, what's the point of living? Why should I even exist? Milo! Your own snap caused Milo to flinch. It was the first time you ever raised your voice at him. I don't want to leave you. I want to be with you until death do us part. But time is not kind to us. We could drift apart or fight. No, we won't. Then what about those around us? Do you think they won't try to tear us apart? You lean closer to him, next to his ear. My chicken nugget. It's the world. Sorry. It's hard to say that with a straight face. Okay, sorry. My chicken nugget. It's the world around us that wants to take us apart. They're always planning, scheming, watching us fall apart. Don't you see? There's no way to escape it. You lean back, closing your eyes as if contemplating. Well, maybe there is a way. Milo's eyes light up. He leaned closer to you. What? What is it? Whatever it is, I refuse to let them take us. You cocked your head slightly. The final push. The only way for us to stay together forever is... Obviously, get rid of them. You're gonna have to go murder them all. This world is a cruel place, isn't it, my chicken nugget? All this rot that tries to tear us apart. Then, there's only one thing for you to do. Destroy them all. When they're all gone, then I will be yours. And just like that, Milo's eyes had changed. You weren't sure, but it felt like a haunting red, ready to slaughter them all off. Milo, you understand what I mean, right? I'm sure if it ever comes to that, you'll know what to do. My chicken nugget has always been so smart. That's why I will protect you from everyone in this world. I'll make sure everyone has an eternal sleep and break their ribs so they never wake up again. You can't help but smile happily at the results. My, this next part will be fun. It had taken you a while to track him down properly, but there he was, in your line of sight. You walked up to him quietly. Ryan? He flinched at your voice and started to back away. What do you want from me? We're done. Done, you hear me? I already sent transfers to another college, so... Oh, Ryan, what are you so afraid of? That Milo might come after you? His face was full of nothing but rage towards you. You were the one who forced me to bully him, to do all of those things. What are you talking about, Ryan? I never said that. Or at least, you have no proof. Seriously, Cece, haven't you done enough already? All this training for Milo? Blaming me for sending all those goons after you? Even though you were the one that did it to yourself. What kind of insane person would do that? Forcing me to drug you, then making me drink that with Milo there. Seriously, what's wrong with you? Just leave me alone. I did everything that you asked, right? He smiled slightly, and he snapped at you. All of this, it's all your fault. Why those people died, why I'm still in this situation. I wish you would just die. Leave me alone. Please, don't make yourself into such a saint. Weren't you the one who wanted to prank all those people, even though you knew it was dangerous? And who was the one who shifted the blame to others so you wouldn't be jailed? Don't you think it's the least you could do after you cheated on me? Come on, just admit it. You were the one who resigned yourself to this punishment. You have no one to blame but yourself. You refused to break up with me. I didn't want to be with you anymore. He's hyperventilating from the stress. It was a joy to watch him struggle. Just like when you were together with him, it was so entertaining watching him flounder about. Watching him cry, watching him beg, forcing him to go through such lengths to get rid of you. When you got bored of him, you tricked him into cheating with someone. He was never your perfect love in the first place, never would have been. The only hope for failures like that is to crush them to dust. Fine, you win. He stops for a second, not believing what he heard. What? You're right. You did what I asked you, and I promised I would let you go. His eyes tell you he doesn't believe you. He knows you far too well. Well, after this one thing, I knew there was a catch. You pull out a USB, and Ryan's eyes widen with fear. Is that it? It is. The last piece of evidence that proves that you were the one who killed those people. It would be a shame if it went into the wrong hands. Ryan lunged at you, desperately trying to grab the USB from your hands, but you dodged him. That's the spirit. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. I will. Pry it from my hands. Fight me if you have to. Take it from me, and it's all yours. Without another word, Ryan tackled you to the ground. He tried to swipe at the USB over and over again. You struggled to move with his weight on you. He took the USB with ease. Finally! Before he could make another move, Ryan was lifted into the air by his neck. His choked out breathing, clawing as he tried to get Milo's hands off of him. The USB dropped to the floor with a clatter and Milo stepped on it, shattering it instantly. And what do we have here? Milo's grip tightened as tears grew in Ryan's eyes. I didn't know we had a rat problem. He turned to you, wanting to know if he could kill him right then and there. But you shook your head simply. It would be a mess if we don't have anything to clean up with. With a grimace and a growl, Milo threw Ryan onto the floor with a thud. Milo kicked his stomach, causing the wind to be knocked out of Ryan. If I see you near my girlfriend ever again, I will finish the job. Coughing and sputtering, Ryan crawled away to safety, crying as he did. He turned to you, clearly filled with rage. How dare that scum touch you after all he did to you? And you even let him go. You really are too kind, my chicken nugget. You let out a sad sigh as Milo glared in Ryan's direction. Who knows what he might do next, though? I'm still afraid he might target me again. Milo hugged you suddenly again, caressing your back. Don't worry, my chicken nugget. You were right. This world is so dangerous and filled with horrid people. But don't worry. He let go of a second, looking into your eyes. I will never let them touch you. Because you are mine. And mine alone. As his eyes looked into yours, it felt as if you could feel the heat from his burning red eyes. For a while, you wondered about the whereabouts of Ryan. He seemed to have disappeared suddenly, and without a trace. Milo, in the meantime, seemed to have taken up his love for cooking again. He had promised you an exciting meal for you two's anniversary together. I promise that it will be something special, my chicken nugget. Something that you will never forget. It was strange, though. You'd never seen him so excited before. You wondered what he had in store for you. This is probably when he's going to kidnap us and stick us in the basement. Despite you trying to look around, it seemed Milo was determined to keep it a surprise. And so, you waited. Then, on your anniversary, you found him inside of your dorm. How strange, you thought. You never gave him a copy of your key. With his apron and candle lighting, he's eagerly waiting for you to sit down. I'm sorry it took so long. It was hard to find the ingredients for this recipe. I hope you enjoy it. He said it normally, as if nothing was strange, but his eyes were still filled with red, as if he were waiting for something. As you both sat down, you looked at the soup that lay before you. It was red and thick, and the smell was something indescribable. Dipping a spoon into the pot, he gestured for you to open your mouth, and fed you as it went on. This is really tasty, my chicken nugget. You would make a great house husband. His face reddened at that compliment and looked away shyly. I was afraid that you might not like it, but I shouldn't have been. After all, you're perfect. I can make more if you like, though maybe not this specific dish. And why is that, my chicken nugget? It has a very rare ingredient in it. I don't think I could get it again. He looked at you with enthusiasm. But don't worry, I can make you plenty of other dishes, just as amazing as the next. As he smiled, you saw something move inside the soup. It looked at you as if it were afraid. Is it an eyeball? It took you a second, but you recognized the color of it. It's Ryan's eyeball. Yep. And another inside of the spoon that Milo was trying to feed you. A pause. Milo seemed to shrink away for a second. Sorry, is something... No, Milo. Nothing's wrong. You couldn't help but smile. Oh God, I ate it. As you took a bite. Ugh! Of course, I have no doubt, my chicken nugget. I can't wait until you cook your next rare meal. How tasty. You really have finally made it. Such a wonderful flavor he has. Your perfect love. Ew! Alright, let's see what other shenanigans we can get him and ourselves into. But mostly him. Okay, I feel like we got a lot more options when we did the party. So let's go to the party. Okay, maybe we didn't have that many options. Okay, so this is the super subtle, charismatic, outgoing Milo. So maybe we just tried drugging him back, because at the bar, Milo was all tough and scary and shit and didn't let Ryan leave. So let's see what happens if we say that we're gonna drug him with the chiller. Milo. That does sound fun. Think of all the applications I could use it for. Playing with your strengths is always a good thing, my hippopotamus. Wouldn't it be fun to learn about such things on our little study date? Oh, are you asking me out so soon? He teases you, but you can see that he's giddy about the idea. Well then, shall we have fun on our date? Let's get going then. Since when did you have access to this lab? Since a very kind professor saw my interest and decided to give me access. Ah, so you took it off someone then, huh? This Milo definitely knows me better. I can't pull the wool over your eyes then, huh? Are you disappointed in me, Milo? He takes your hand and kisses up your arm. How could I ever be disappointed in you, my hippopotamus? You were the one who saved me from Ryan. So now, I'll be the one who will save you. No matter what. Looks like that bastard learned from before and actually made the proper dosage of GHB. He's done this before? You're right. You weren't here last year. There were a couple of deaths due to overdosing on drugs. A lot of students were thrown into jail, but there were rumors that Ryan was the one behind it all. You can still recall Ryan's face when he got accused. It wasn't the face of someone that was innocent. Milo laughed sharply, interrupting your train of thought. Then he's really getting what he deserves then, huh? I can't wait. Don't be so hasty. I wouldn't want you to get hurt, my hippopotamus. Seems like it's pretty easy to get Rohypnol if you can pretend you need it for anxiety. You sure have a very varied interest. Oh, is there some hesitation I hear, my hippopotamus? It was a joke. You know that I only have admiration for you. Just thinking of Ryan's face after he realized what he's done is so... He drools hungrily. Tantalizing. You stretch out, prepared to teach Milo the ropes. Shall we? Let's make drugs, kids! Well, Milo, are you coming with? I'll need backup in case something goes wrong while we're talking. Actually, if you don't mind, may I do the honors? You tilt your head inquisitively. He wants to talk to Ryan? What a surprise. Are you sure, my hippopotamus? It would be terrible if a repeat of last time happened. I'd rather you not get hurt. I won't let him get the best of me this time. I promise you, my hippopotamus. You see his eyes filled with determination. You can't seem to say no to it. All right, Milo, as you wish. To us, And another year Professor's torturing us. He puts the glass to his lips. But before Ryan could drink, Milo slung his arm over his shoulder. What are you doing? This? Oh, this. I just wanted to thank you so much for helping my girlfriend with this project. After all, you really saved her grade, and I can't thank you enough. Despite how friendly his words seemed, there was an aftertaste of malice. Though it seemed like Ryan didn't pick up on it. Oh, that? It was nothing. Though that's not the reaction I was expecting. You planning something? Milo makes a quick expression of anger, before snapping back to his cheerful facade. What are you talking about? Do I look like the type to hold grudges? I mean, I can't be mad at a Galaxy War fan. What? You watched that too? Of course, what person wouldn't? In fact, there was a new preview earlier today. Really? Show me. Milo pulls up the preview and lets Ryan watch it on his phone, and uses the other hand to slip something into his drink. He winks at you mischievously before stirring it slightly as the preview ends. These previews are too short. Unfortunate, right? Guess we have to wait for the next one. But I shouldn't be interrupting your time together, so I'll just sit way over here. Watching. He smiles as he walks away, but it leaves shivers down Ryan's spine. He looks at the drink, and hesitantly looks at you. What's the matter, Ryan? Let's drink to our success. Right. He looks at it again, then closes his eyes and chugs it. He taps the glass on the table and walks off. Oh? Where are you going, friend? I have class. Really? What was it that you used to say? That going to class is a waste of time? To say it nicely, that is. Why don't you just stay? His eyes flash a dangerous expression, and Ryan looks towards you. Milo, let's let him go. Just seeing his ugly face is enough to make me puke. You cling onto Milo's arm, and his face changes to an expression of adoration. Plus, if we leave now, then we can spend more time together, right? You trace your finger on his chest, and as Milo's eyes are fixed in worship on you, Ryan slips out the back. My hippopotamus, why didn't you just say so? Where'd that rat Ryan go? Still focusing on him instead of me? He looks back at you gleeful. No, of course not. You're my entire world. My everything. Then you shouldn't even so much as think about another person. Understand? Come now, Milo, let me buy you a drink. You did such a good job. Dragging his attention away from Ryan, you meet Milo's gaze. You just wanted him to look at you. And only you. And so college life went as normal. Whenever you saw Ryan, he would hurriedly walk towards the opposite direction. And Milo? He started to invite you out for drinks more often. He said that he wanted to get to know you more, but you knew that wasn't the truth. Every now and then you would see him putting something in your drink. It was cute, thinking he could hide it from you. Really, it was. It made you proud that he had taken your lessons into heart. So you drank it, nevertheless. The kind of glee he had whenever you did was entertaining, and you slowly felt weaker. Milo would feign ignorance, asking if you were okay. You must be studying too much, let me take care of you. And you'd be brought over to his dorm for him to nurse you. Slowly, he started to take care of other things, like your meals, your things. You weren't allowed to do certain things. Milo would simply get anything you wanted. Hand and knee, anything you wanted or needed. Comforting, yet restricting. A cat playing with his prey. It is really fun being the mouse, isn't it? It was at least an entertaining game to you. At least it is to you. That's why you created this game. Perfect. And so for a while, nothing else out of the blue went on. It was always just you and Milo. Milo's smooth charade never seemed to dim. He smothered you with love. Almost too much so. Your body seemed to have regained its strength again. How annoying. It seems regardless of what you do, he could never push onwards himself. Despite him simply blowing air about how much he wanted you, it just wasn't enough. Isn't it time to take action then? To finally make him what you wanted him to be? Okay, charismatic Milo, we're gonna have to fucking kill people, my guy. Let's do it. Milo, you understand what I mean, right? I'm sure if it ever comes to that, you'll know what to do. Of course, my hippopotamus. It's all so clear now. The only way to save you is to get rid of all those that oppose us. I wonder what would be easier, drugging the cafeteria food or just the water supply. You can't help but smile happily at the results. This next part will be fun. He took the USB with ease. Finally! Before he could celebrate any longer, though, Milo had grabbed his wrist. With a cold smile, he asked a simple question. Finally what, Ryan? Ryan went pale, seeing Milo's smiling face loom over him. It's nothing, Milo, nothing at all. He croaked out an unconvincing lie. Then if that's the case... Milo leaned in only inches away from Ryan's face. I would appreciate it if you never talked to my girlfriend again. Milo lets go of his wrist, and as he shakes, Ryan runs away without turning back. He turns to you next. My hippopotamus, what were you two talking about? He said it with a slight smile, but there was a coldness to it. It seems he wanted to take me back, to use me as some sort of toy again. But no matter how much I said no, he refused to let go. Thank goodness you showed up. All lies, of course, but Milo ate it up as if it was words of his god. He smiled, eyes widened with an unsettling grin. I see. Then I'm glad I was able to save you then, my hippopotamus. Please don't worry. I'll make sure that something like this will never happen again. A quiet declaration with the red burning in his eyes. Ever since Ryan ran away, Milo seemed to have been engrossed with a new hobby. As much as you tried to find out what he was doing, it seemed he was very secretive about it. Oh, are you trying to find out what your present is going to be? It's a surprise for a reason, he would say in a sing-song manner, happy to see you were so interested. He kept his gift under wraps, always checking his phone as if he were watching and waiting for something. Humming happily as he continued scrolling through his phone. He would always talk about how excited he was to gift it to you, how much you would love it, until finally, he was finished. As a surprise, he blindfolded you and brought you somewhere secret. I'm so excited. I hope you like all of my hard work. Unveiling your eyes to behold, you stood in awe at what you saw. For a second, you thought there was a person sitting in the chair in front of you. But as you leaned in closer, you saw what it really was. A giant, jointed doll, an exact replicate of Ryan. The skin, the eyes, the clothes, they all looked exactly like him. What the fuck? Milo, this is amazing. How did you manage to make him look so convincing? Oh, I just had some very good references, let's say. He smiled happily, proud at the praise you had given him. You inspected the doll closer. It was so lifelike. How did he? You realized immediately. The eyes were moving. The pupils dilating and expanding as if he were trying to communicate. The face seemed wet, as if it were crying. Milo leaned closer to you. I'm sorry, though, my hippopotamus. I actually ended up selling this one to a collector. I hope you're not too mad. You looked back at him and gave him a smile. No, of course not, my hippopotamus. How could I be mad at you? As an apology, I'll make as many dolls as you'd like. Any friend, foe, classmate, professor, I can make anyone into a doll for you. Anyone you want. Oh, how generous. You know, I was just thinking, I'd like a nice doll of Desmond. Don't you think it would be a nice gift for his girlfriend? I think she would be thrilled at that kind of surprise. If that's what you wish, who am I to deny my hippopotamus? You stared into his eyes. What a beautiful masterpiece you had made. A perfect doll maker, just for you. Any person could become your doll to break or to destroy, to make them cry of fear or joy. How delightful. Your hard work had spawned something so wonderful. Now you have your one and only perfect love. Ew. Okay, let's see what happens if we make him be like this super aggressive dude, but then make him try to stalk Ryan at the end. Alright, Milo, we gotta stalk this bitch. He would catch us too easily. Stalking is the way to go. Stalking him? Ah, I understand. Like finding the best time to ambush. That's right, my Perry the Platypus. Stalking has so many different applications. How useful. Won't it be fun to have a stakeout together? Together? He fidgets with his hands in nervous happiness. How cute. Even with his more violent nature, he still maintained his romantic side. You think carefully about what you would need to stalk Ryan. Cameras, darker clothing. Well, we used to date, so I know his schedules. It should be easy. You see him tense up at this new information. What? A mix of fear and jealousy cloud his eyes. What a cute reaction. My Perry the Platypus, are you jealous? Afraid he might take me away from you? I would never let you escape me. You're mine, you know? It's just a jest, my Perry the Platypus, as if I would ever go back to him. We were just toying with each other anyways. Him more than me. It was all lies anyways, just something to kill time. But it was obvious that Milo wouldn't let this go so easily. Why don't we focus on watching over Ryan first? Or would you rather stalk me instead? You said it as if it were a joke, but you watched as Milo's eyes widened. Cute. But we'd have to be a bit more hidden, so I got these. You pulled out some matching hats that you had gotten. I think you would look good in them. This is... Do you not like my gift, Milo? He hugged it close to his chest, almost in a childish manner. No, this is mine now. Aw, how cute. He fidgets awkwardly, seeming a bit flustered that he had been complimented. From wolf to puppy, it was very like him. He put it on afterwards. Aw, it's a beanie when he's the mean one. I say as if the other version isn't just as mean. How does it look? How handsome. He's looking away, not sure what to say. Well then, let's get to work. It's the least he deserves for what he's pulled. For a while, we followed Ryan around, secretly, with gentle steps. Enough that he would never know it was us. But obvious enough to know that someone was watching him. At first, it wasn't anything. Harmless, in fact. We watched him, but never did anything to him. But Milo got impatient. At first, it was just acts of violence, breaking his windows, trashing his dorm. A little bit out of control, he thought. Next was the letters, sending him threat after threat. Cutting out words and letters, promising to tear off his head and legs. Pictures of his friends, promising to gut them alive. You had almost felt bad for him, the way Milo tore into him. At some point, he couldn't leave his dorm for a bit. Afraid that someone out there would kill him if he had stepped out. You could tell Milo was amused at this. Whatever sense of guilt he had was gone. After all, to him, Ryan deserved this more than anything. He had tried to hurt you, and it was a threat to his everything. It was enough to almost make you laugh. It became harder to meet Ryan in person to work on your project. Is something wrong, Ryan? I haven't been seeing you in class. At least it doesn't seem like you've been slacking on our project. This is too much. It's Milo, isn't it? Please tell him to stop. I know what I did was wrong, but I don't want to live like this anymore. All these threats. He's breaking into my dorm. I'm not sure he would even listen to me anymore. He seems hell-bent on getting revenge. But this is what you wanted, right? Please, just make it stop. You ponder a bit, contemplating on shortening Ryan's suffering. Milo's been too rough lately. As much as I'd hate to admit it, I do need you to finish this project with me. So, I'll convince him. You have my word. You can see his shaking stop, the relief in his eyes bringing back life. Really? Of course. Let's do well in this project together. It wasn't just Ryan that Milo watched. You would notice that he could never tear his eyes off of you, either. It had almost scared you the first time you saw him standing outside your dorm in the middle of the night. His eyes never wavering, watching, observing. At some point, he had disappeared and started to come inside of your dorm at night. It was almost clumsy the way he tried to get into your dorm. You could hear him walk into your house, the footsteps soft but noticeable. He had even knocked over something like an awkward puppy. Every night he came in and watched you sleep. He held your hand sometimes, even climbed into bed to sleep next to you. Sometimes he would simply chant your name like a mantra. Like a snake. An obsessive dog worshipping his master as he slept. Some nights he would simply sit there, watching you. His eyes hungry as if he wanted to eat you alive. Soon after, you noticed that some of your clothes would go missing for days on end, only for them to be returned to you a couple days later. But there were some that you would never get back. How strange. I can't seem to find one of my sweaters. It's too bad, too. I had that one for a long time. Milo would tense up a bit every time you would mention something missing. It might just be lost forever. Sometimes it gets eaten in the laundry machine or something, right? A sweater eaten by the laundry machine? How silly. But it made you happy that his mind was so enraptured by you. You were certain he was about to become your perfect love. And so, for a while, nothing else out of the blue went on. It was always just you and Milo. And so he continued to come into your house, trying silently, watching you as you slept. Yet you could hear his breathing. He watched over you night after night. You could tell he really wanted to take you somewhere far away, to perhaps a basement or an attic, somewhere where you could never be found. But he was too unsure, too indecisive to do so. Despite what he had changed into, he was still your dog. He needed to be trained on what to do. Why am I actively encouraging him to kidnap me? What could possibly be in my brain to want me to convince somebody to store me away in an attic or a basement somewhere? Now excuse me while I drink my beverage. I should have just taken you while you were sleeping. Broken your legs and your arms. Make it so that you can't leave me. Milo, there's nothing left for me. I only exist for you, nobody else. Only you. Without you, what's the point of living? Why should I even exist? Ooh, Milo! Bro! So what do? He was really rough, but then we made him stalk Ryan. So now do we make him go protection route or the get rid of them route? You know what? Por que no los dos? We'll start with protect. Protect me, Milo. It'll be fine. It seemed that while Ryan pinned you down, you ended up bruising something on your body. You let out a pained noise as you stood up. Ryan didn't seem to notice at all as he held the USB in his hand. And he didn't notice Milo coming up to him, hovering and staring. He nearly squealed as Milo grabbed his wrist and broke his arm with ease. Ooh! Ryan let out a pained gasp as he instinctively dropped the USB, which Milo crushed under his foot. Perhaps I break your other arm too. Or maybe snap your neck instead. My Perry the platypus. Upon hearing you call out to him, he immediately dropped Ryan and came to your side. Are you okay? What happened? Did he hurt you? Growling, he stood up and tried to look for Ryan, but he was nowhere to be seen. That coward. I'm gonna twist his neck and... Milo tried to chase after him, but you grabbed his arm. Milo, please don't go. His rage turned to worry as he held you. I should have been there. I should have protected you from him. I should have... It's okay, my Perry the platypus. What I need right now isn't a guard dog, but someone who will take care of me. Milo was stunned for a second, and he nods. He lifts you up gently and carries you back to your dorm. While he walks, he's silent, looking at you over and over again. His eyes were cold, but his resolve was steady. What was he thinking, you wondered? For a while, Milo took care of you. He stayed in your dorm, cooked for you, cleaned for you. He never left your side as you lay there in bed. At night, he would watch over you as well, his cold eyes staring at you. He would always be muttering something in guilt. How could I let my girlfriend get hurt like this? This world is far too dangerous for her. She won't survive. And how could I live without them? My Perry the platypus, I won't fail you again. Cece. It wasn't long until you had gotten better. You could sit upright again without any pain. You really are such a wonderful house husband, my Perry the platypus. I'm completely back to full health. Yeah. You decided to head out for your next classes, but Milo stopped you before you could go out the door. What are you doing, my Perry the platypus? I won't let you go out there anymore. Strange. Didn't I just say I won't fail again, my Perry the platypus. I swear on my life. So I thought about it. He drags a bat from behind his back and walks towards you slowly. Oh no. It's gonna give me the misery business. Ha! 2 jokes in 1. What's the best way to protect you? To make sure you can never be hurt again? I thought about it again and again. And I can't. There's no way to protect you. He looms over you as you back away from him instinctively. So I have to come to a compromise. I will take care of you forever. Even if it means I have to hurt you to do so. Before you could even turn around, Milo swings his bat at your legs. You could feel your bones snap as he did, and you screamed, falling to the floor. I'm sorry, my Perry the platypus. He hit you again and again. You could feel your bones shattering as you coughed up blood. I don't want to hurt you, but there's no other way. For a second, he stopped. You heaved heavily, finally forcing air into your lungs as your body ached in pain. You were able to look up at Milo as he stared down at you, tears in his eyes. I'm sorry, my Perry the platypus. He closed his eyes and it was dark. From then on, you never left your dorm. Not as if you could have anyways. You were always in bed, and often it hurt to move. Milo would cry next to you, apologizing over and over again for what he did. Yeah, how is this protection, bitch? You just hurt me yourself. This is way worse than anything that happened to me out in the world. He took care of you, all of your needs, anything you wanted he would get for you. And when you got better again, he would break you while crying again. A vicious cycle over and over again. He held your hand as he sobbed loudly. I'm sorry. Even if you hate me, I can't. You lifted your hand. Milo flinched as if expecting you would hit him. But instead you caressed his face. And after shock, he kissed your hand. You're doing wonderfully, Milo. I couldn't have asked for a better boyfriend. Even if it hurt to move, you were content. The shape that you had molded him into, how wondrous. It was exactly the perfect love that you always wanted. And that's all you wanted. A perfect house husband. That breaks my legs. Alright, 4 down, 4 to go. Alright, Milo, instead of to protect me, you gotta fucking get rid of him. Get rid of him. Don't break my legs over and over and over again, thanks. Silence filled the air all of a sudden. Milo's hand gripped onto Ryan's face as he looked up, gripping tighter and tighter. Ryan's muffled panic and then screams as you hear the sound of cracking. Muffled screaming, the frantic clawing of Milo's hand. You think to yourself that he will break his skull, but he suddenly lets go of him, causing Ryan to stumble backwards and fall, before Milo crushes the USB and his hand with it. Slowly, he comes to you and hugs you. Ah, my Perry the platypus, did he hurt you? His words were kind, but his tone, it was as if he was going to crush you in anger as well. Don't worry, I will never let this happen again. I won't let those dirty monsters touch you. I will get rid of them all. I will protect you. He sounded as if he had made an oath, a promise that had chained the two of you together. He lets go. And all you could see is the red in his eyes. You never saw Ryan again. They had found his body fallen at the end of a cliff. It seemed that he went hiking with some of his friends at night and never came back. You remember that night that Milo wasn't there to watch you sleep when you saw him the next day? The faint smell of metal came off of him, and slowly, just as it were, accidents became frequent around your college. 2 people in your class that had accidentally stepped on your shoe were found dead in a car accident only weeks later. The professor that had given you a hard time and almost failed you was found at the wrong end of town with his body torn up and his bones broken. Anyone that crossed you would suddenly be dead only moments later. And at night, you would find Milo drenched in red, sitting, watching you, the blood on his face shining from the lights outside. These coincidences, these accidents, it became obvious that they were anything but. And slowly, the college became paranoid of who would be the next victim. The blood-eye killer, they all called him, with etchings of the eye drawn in red marker. The eyes that watched you every night, the eyes of the person who protected you. The police came to gather, questioning the students around them, desperate to find the killer. When they had questioned you, though, it's quite frightening. I was working on a project with the first victim a while ago. Though I did hear that he pissed off a lot of people, I didn't think it would end like this. Is there someone that I find could be the killer? Why would I think of something like that? No one comes to mind that I can think of. Really, there's nothing to worry about. Whatever was left of the quiet, shy Milo was made into a killer to protect you. He would do anything to protect you, anything to make you safe. All those bodies were simply collateral, disposable things to create the love you deserved. Truly, this was the perfect love you wanted all along. Sure was! Okay, so in this one, we took him to the batting cages, and we drugged Ryan instead of stalking him. But then at the very end, we told him that he needed to protect us. I should have just taken you earlier, to somewhere where no one else can find you. You nearly laughed at the results that you had produced. You couldn't wait until he broke. Something loomed over Ryan as he laughed. You could feel Ryan shudder as he felt a presence behind him. The air was heavy and thick, as if every breath were seeped in poison. Milo's eyes weren't one of a human's anymore, as if it were something far more sinister. Ryan opened his mouth as if to come up with some excuse, but before he could say anything, Milo pulled out his bat, and without another word, swung it towards his legs, and the sound of his bones splintering filled the air. There was a blood-curdling scream as he grabbed his leg in agony. The sound of howling pain echoed in the air. How unfortunate for you. You notice out of the corner of your eye a shadow of people coming to see the commotion. We have to go, Milo. They're going to find us. Milo turned to the shaking Ryan, grabbing his collar. If you tell anyone else about this, your skull will be the next baseball for me to hit. Throwing him onto the ground, you and Milo made your escape. After escaping from the scene, you felt Milo's gaze burning through you. I think we're far enough away. You grabbed at Milo's arm, but he only stared at you unmovingly. Why were you talking to him, my silly Willy? It was nothing important, at least not anymore. Did you like him? It was a simple question that made you stand on end. The way you were looking at him, watching him, that's what it was, wasn't it? He growled viciously, as if imagining tearing his head off. It doesn't matter. You belong to me now. You will never go back to him. I'll make sure of it. The blue in his eyes left you speechless, as if frozen by his words. And yet somehow, you felt happy beyond belief. Just as he had said, Ryan seemed to have transferred schools. However, it didn't seem like Milo had let go of his anger towards him, and towards you. Yet still, he took care of you, and was always by your side. It was strange, you thought, when he suddenly took up cooking again. He would often mutter to himself as you did your projects, and you watched him cook. You had hoped that he would be planning something exciting for you. And so he did, one seemingly normal afternoon. He gave you some cookies that he had baked earlier that day. I hope you like it. He looked at you tentatively as you ate them without thought. You should have been more careful. It felt hard to breathe when you woke up. Coughing and sputtering, you were bound to a chair as the ropes rubbed against you. You felt pain and soreness everywhere, as if someone had knocked you and kicked you as you slept. Though it was dark, your eyes were slowly adjusting, as you saw two eyes looking back at you. My silly Willy, you managed to say. You felt oddly dazed and tried to go closer to him, but you couldn't feel your legs. Sunlight came through the sides of the building, and you finally saw his face. His eyes blue and cold, but his face slashed in blood. I hope you had a nice sleep. His voice was surprisingly gentle, but it still had a hint of stiffness to it, as if his voice hasn't spoken for a while. I really did want to do it more gently, but as it turns out, I still messed up on cutting your tendon. So I just took the whole thing. God damn it. What is it with the legs, man? Stop taking my fucking legs! His smile was wide and unnerving, and he seemed so happy about what he had done. I'm not as good as Ryan, I know. I will never be. But that's okay. You will always be mine now. You can't run anymore. It took you a while to realize what he meant. Ah, of course. The red that was slathered on his face, the choice of words. You looked down. You couldn't touch the floor anymore. Your legs were gone. What was left of them were sewn up, as if a doll. Your legs were gone. You started to breathe heavily. Everything felt as if it were crashing. Don't move, you're going to... And then you started laughing. So happy, so brilliantly happy. Milo looked surprised, not knowing what to say. Beautiful, beautiful. You've done so well, Milo. You couldn't stop laughing. You couldn't stop smiling. A never-ending echo of pure happiness, of full insanity. This is just what I wanted, Milo. Finally, you've truly done it. You're perfect. The laughter, the final end goal fulfilled. Oh, you couldn't have been happier. Insanity, disgust maybe, others might say. But you couldn't care less. To you, this was, without a doubt, your perfect love. That really did seem like the best one for her so far. Not best in terms of her well-being, but best in terms of happiness? Okay, so in this one, we went to the party, and then we stalked Ryan instead of drugging him, and now I told him that he has to kill everyone. Ryan's victory didn't last for long. Milo showed up next to him, his eyes glazed over. He tore the USB away from him without breaking eye contact. Why are you here, Ryan? Don't you know that you're interfering with my girlfriend? If I were you, I would run before I get angry. Milo's eyes were on fire, and he seemed to flinch as if from the heat. Without another word, Ryan leaves. Milo looks at you. You can feel your body burn. It feels as if someone is shoving your head closer and closer to a fire. The only thing left is your reflection flickering in his eyes. And then, he smiles. Don't worry, my free Costco sample. I'll make sure that he, and the others, that nothing will take us apart. You hear him, surely, but all you can see is the red in his eyes. Milo was acting strange nowadays, and not in the way you wanted. He was talking, socializing with the enemy. Somehow, somewhere, he had befriended Ryan, and the two became inseparable. Even worse than that, every person that you had hated, despised, even found annoying, he seemed to have gotten in contact with them as well. And with a silver tongue, gotten them to join the same courses as you. You should have been enraged, angered. You should have torn him apart. But the way that he talked, the way he would look at you, the way his eyes shone a rageful, hateful red, as if he was looking at insects that needed to be squashed. Something about his bloodlust made you trust what he was planning. Perhaps you just needed to suck it up, at least until you could gut Milo personally. You just had to find your hunting knife and, well, look who it is. Easier said than done, you thought. He kicked the side of your leg roughly, and you fell to the ground with a loud thud. Still a weakling who doesn't know their place, huh? From what I recall, this time a kick to the chest, leaving you kneeling on the floor gasping for air. You should be grateful I haven't gutted you yet. Thank Milo. He's the one begging at my feet to make you happy. Milo? Begging? That can't be right. The only one he should be begging for is you. Ryan smirked before walking away from your state on the floor. You told Milo about the encounter that day, and yet he said nothing. Just wait until exam day, Milo had told you with a hum. Fine. If Milo doesn't get his act together by then, you didn't need an imperfect love. He won't wake up to see the birds the next morning. You would make sure of it. Soon after the day of the exam came, Milo came up to you smiling happily. And what are you so happy for, Milo? My gift for you is finally done. Is that so? He was pissing you off. You slammed your hands against the wall, pinning him down. Huh? What are you? Milo, do you know the hell I had to go through this semester because of you? To watch as Ryan harassed me every day. How pitiful it was to see you kneel before the man I saved you from. To see you ignore me time and time again to hang out with him and the other insects. If you hated me so much, you should have just said so. Milo stood there in shock, his breath hitched in his throat. His eyes were filled with that burning hatred again. Before he smiled with a forced grin. It's all right, my free Costco sample. I promise that he will never have to talk to him again. After today, it'll be something that you never forget. I promise. You walked back from the wall and turned away from him. You better hope so. If you're lying, it won't end well for you. You walked into the lecture hall, placing your backpack on the floor as you sat down. I'm going to text you right before the exam. Please follow my instructions for the gift. He had whispered to you before you walked into the hall. You closed your eyes and imagined squeezing the eyes from his sockets as he bled out. If this gift was even just a bit lackluster, that's the fate he would get. You waited and watched the other students file in, the worthless insects that Milo had gathered whispering and laughing. Annoying. You waited and waited, and soon the exam was about to start. Just as the professor was passing out the papers, you felt your phone buzz in your pocket. Please leave class, my free Costco sample. You scoffed. What a gift. Leave now, please. I'm begging you. Why? There's nothing that could save him now. I need you. You stood up suddenly, the eyes of your classmates turning to you. I'm sorry, I have to leave. Quick bathroom break, you said with a forced smile. Before anyone could say anything, you dashed into the hallway. As you stormed out, your shoulder brashly hit Ryan's. Watch where you're... He smiled widely when he saw who had bumped into him. Oh, what's this? Are you running away from your exam? I don't have time for this. You tried to brush past him, but he grabbed your arm. Hey, don't you know it's rude not to apologize to someone you so rudely bumped into? Apologize. Why would I... He socked you in the face and you fell to the ground with a thud. Don't act so high and mighty. Apologize. You spat in his face. You slammed your face against the wall, your ears ringing from the impact. Looks like your attitude hasn't changed yet, huh? Even after your new project crashed and burned. You just never learn, do you? You grit your teeth as the phone in your pocket buzzed rapidly. I need you. Sorry. Oh? What was that? You gnashed your teeth. I said I'm sorry. Ryan gasped dramatically and laughed before kicking you to the ground and walking away laughing. You breathed in slowly, before walking out without a word. It took you a while, but you spotted Milo. A free Costco sample was so... Milo flinched when he saw your state, ragged and bruised. Milo? Milo trembled when he heard your voice, sharp as if impaling his heart. You stopped, then looked up at him, unblinking. This is worth it, isn't it, Milo? He grabbed your hands, clasping onto them tightly. I was so worried that you wouldn't come out in time. It would be a horrible gift for my free Costco sample if she didn't make it out in time. Before you could even take in a single breath, you felt the pressure. You felt it crush you like an aluminum can. The ringing in your ears wouldn't stop as you saw the shapes of bodies scrambling about. And then, you heard the rest of the sound, like something had struck the world with thunder. As you turned around, the building was burning and smoke was suffocating the air. You almost feel the heat from here. Milo dragged you away with the crowd, the screaming finally able to settle in your ears. You put your hand on his face, nuzzling into your palm. Seeing an explosion is a lot more hair-raising in person, but it's so much more exhilarating than I thought. The smile on his face was too wide. Who knew Ryan was so dull-witted? Just a tiny spark can make your insides burn. It was quite an ordeal to get him to go back to smoking again. Even harder to properly run a gas leak. I wish I could have seen his face when he realized what he had done. He looked up at you as you caressed his face. Worry creased his features. Did you like it, my free Costco sample? You stared at him vacantly. All of those people burned into an unforgiving hell. How could you do that? Milo's eyes widened. He was shaking, afraid of disappointment. But you smiled, just as wide as he did, without letting me in on the fun. You hugged him tightly as his face turned a dark red. What a wonderful gift. Milo relaxed for a second and hugged back. It's all thanks to you. Isn't it amazing what you've turned me into? I couldn't be happier. Please praise me. He cooed playfully, nuzzling his face into your palm. You did well, my free Costco sample. Better than I could have predicted. I wonder what we should do now. I'm sure there are some lucky survivors in the wreckage. Would it be better to snuff them out, or perhaps just watch the aftermath of it all, the glorious flames? You laughed. I'm sure either would be fun. What should we do, my free Costco sample? He intertwined his hand with yours. I'm sure either would be a blast. You and I, there's nothing else I would want more in this world. Wouldn't I throw away everything to be with you? Let's stay together for the rest of eternity. There's nothing I would have wanted more. The red in his eyes shone brighter than before, an unbearable insanity that consumed him. All thanks to you. There was nothing left for either of you, and you only had each other. Such a wonderfully delightful rush. Together your love would burn, like the perfect love it was. Okay, so this one is we went to the party and then we drugged Ryan, and now I'm telling me to kill everybody. I wonder if there's a way I can make you never forget me, so that I'm always imprinted in your mind. In his excitement, Ryan fumbled with the USB, dropping it on the ground. He scrambled to get it, only for him to be by the feet of Milo. Ryan tried to grab the USB, only for Milo to step on it. Hello there, Ryan. What do you think you're doing? Milo, I was just getting something from Cece. It's nothing big, really. I just... Silly Ryan. That's not what I was asking. Let me rephrase it for you. Why are you near my microwave TV dinner? Why are you even talking to my girlfriend? Get away from her. The utter disdain in Milo's eyes made Ryan shrink away. Look, I won't bother her anymore, okay? I swear. I was just about to leave. You won't see me anymore. Oh, I know, Ryan. Because if you don't... His eyes were cold, as if he was shooting daggers into Ryan. And then he smiled. I'll make sure that the hospital is your new permanent home. And with that, Milo lifted his foot, and Ryan scrambled away. He looked at Ryan as he ran away, and then back to Milo. Thank you, my microwave TV dinner. Will you leave me like you left him? question caught you off guard and you were stunned into silence. Milo, what do you... No, you wouldn't. I'll find a way to be together forever. You couldn't put another word in as he walked away from you. A cold shiver went down your spine when he looked at you. It felt as if something bad was about to happen. Something that you couldn't take back. You woke up groggily as if you'd been sleeping for ages. As the fog in your mind cleared, you realized that you were seated on a couch. Did Milo drug you last night? It was hard to remember. There was a strange ache in your left eye, like someone had tried to scoop it out. Ugh. Oh God, did he try to give us a lobotomy? Did he succeed in giving us a lobotomy? Ugh. You tried to move your hand towards it to feel what was going on, but you realized, try as you might, you couldn't move your limbs. You could only awkwardly bob your head side to side. I wouldn't try to move my microwave TV dinner. We're still in the middle of getting married, you know. Married? Shyly, Milo tapped the ring on your left hand, with the ring matching his. They say that this finger is connected to the human heart, and that if you betray someone in love, you'd have to cut it off. I thought that idea was so romantic, so I decided that we should have something from each other to seal the deal. You look up at Milo slowly, and your eye looks straight back at you. Oh, holy shit, not that. Nope. Nope. How can you see out of it? How did he perform such a, delicate ocular transplant surgery? And on himself? Unless he just stuck the eye in his open socket. That's gonna get infected. I wasn't sure if I did it correctly, but look, we're matching now, aren't we? His face flushed, his eyes starting to cry with tears leaking out. An eye for an eye. It was strangely beautiful in a way. But I'm not quite done yet. I have one more thing before we are officially married. A metal stick with the symbol of an eye on it, colored in hot red. With this, we really will be together forever. Before you could protest, he pressed the iron straight onto your bare chest. You let out a scream of agony as the metal burned into your skin. Your eye, Milo's eye, both started tearing up. In reflexive pain, you bashed your head into Milo's nose, causing him to stumble backwards. Gasping, you felt the steam rising from your chest as the markings settled onto your skin. And then, you heard laughing. A hysterical, gleeful laugh. Trying to ignore the pain, you craned your neck upwards to see a Milo, blushing profusely in ecstasy as his nose bled out of your previous headbutt. Oh, that hurt so much, being hurt by my microwave TV dinner. He wiped the blood from his nose, all while pressing down, with his painful squirming sounding joyful. You felt the paralysis in your arms wearing off, and you touched your chest, circling the newly scorched branding. We're so close to being bound together. He placed the branding iron into your hands and started to pull off his shirt. I can't wait. I'll be marked just like you soon. He guided your hand to push the rod against his skin and... Pushing it into him, the tears from his eyes started to run down quickly. He was drooling, enjoying the pain a little too much. You pulled it away, leaving a deep mark on his chest mirroring yours. Now, even if you ran away, even if you were taken from me, we are marked as one. You cupped his face as he spoke, drying his tears with your fingers. You finally understand, don't you? The kind of love I was striving for. This is it. You understand, right? To be twisted into one, a cruel love to most, but to you, it was finally the perfect love you wanted. Yay, we're married! And look at that, all of the endings. But you didn't think it was over, did you? No. There is one more. Alright, for this secret special ending, you have to name him something boring as fuck. Oh, my love, that's really cute. It always makes me so happy to hear when you give me a nickname. Always? You shift your body slightly. Something was off. What do you mean, always? Love is a nice nickname, right? To be your perfect love? You stand closer to him, inches away from his face. I have never told anyone about my desire for a perfect love. Milo laughs nervously. Oh, well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. To be honest, you weren't the type to get scared all that easily. Horror movies, true crime, even possibly watching someone die beneath you was something you found quite dull. But something about this made your blood run cold. You were met with eyes floating, attached onto Milo. They were looking around, watching, staring at you. He seemed to have a hard time focusing on you. Or you presumed that was what he was doing. Whatever he was, it felt unstable. You felt like something was touching under your skin, grabbing your neck, arms, everything around it. Somehow you knew if you even moved an inch, you would be no more. You grit your teeth. You're not my Milo. A hideous laugh echoed throughout the world. Oh, my love, you're so clever. I love that about you. You're right. I'm not your Milo. I'm your perfect love. You could feel your body heating up, screaming in terror. You wish you could reach inside of yourself and tear out this feeling. So you mustered what hatred you had to ask. Tell me, Milo, what makes you think you've become my perfect love? Because you were the one who taught me. The one who can talk his way out of any situation just for my love. The one who will protect you no matter the cost. Perhaps you don't remember, but I do. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I just wanted to make you happy, because you deserve it. If my existence could mean anything in this world, wouldn't I only want you? You made me. Exactly the kind of person that I needed to be. What was this? It looked so familiar, and yet you couldn't remember this at all. I was always yours, my love. Every single part of me, I devoted it all. I protected every part of you. I would never let you get hurt. You didn't remember any of this, and yet all of it. I was too familiar to have been forgotten. I'm so happy. I became everything you wanted. Every time you accepted me, I could feel my soul filled. Every time you trained me, I couldn't have been happier. I was nothing before, but now I'm everything to you. Isn't this what you wanted? This is the Milo you've always wanted. You pushed Milo onto the floor, pinning him down. Those invisible threats holding back felt like it was torn from your skin, but you didn't care. The perfect love was right in front of you. And you couldn't let someone like this go. His face spazzed out in emotions as he tried to comprehend what was going on. Do you want me that badly? Do you care about me just as much as I care about you? Because I'm really so happy you came back to me over and over again, to morph me into anything that you wish. His appearance changed suddenly. He reminded you of a cat, sly and cunning. Anything that would make you happy, even if the little part of me that was left was utterly crushed under your foot. But it's still not enough, is it? No matter what. Another appearance change. Now like a dog, loyal and ruthless. I want you to tear me apart over and over again. Reshape me into exactly what you want. I want to be everything you want me to be. So please, just do this for me. I want you to destroy everything so that we can finally be together. Destroy everything? This entire world crushed into nothingness. Just the two of us. Milo smiled gently. I just want this last thing for us. I'm not normally this selfish, but if you care about me, even a little, Please destroy everything, so we can be forever stuck in a loop together, so that nobody else can see our perfect love, trapped together, everything saved, destroyed. Please. He was broken beyond repair. He only had you left. How wonderful. This was exactly what you wanted, right? A corrosive and suffering love. But then again, maybe it still wasn't enough. Just one more push. You decided you would. I don't know which one is what he wants. I don't know which one he wants. I don't know, let's do this one. What did you want? It was everything you had ever wanted. You didn't have to go through the hassle of training a new pet. Who are you to deny such a perfect specimen? And if you didn't like the way the other versions of you made him, you can just remake him as you pleased. Oh, Milo, you're cute. And how could I say no to a face like that? Though I am curious. You caressed his face slowly, looking deep into his eyes. Just what did the other versions of me do to you? I want to know if they really are anything like me. Milo seems to go quiet. Did you kill for them, Milo? Did you break their limbs? His figure spasms, the cruel and delinquent-looking Milo. Did we brand our love together? Did you crawl within my walls to win my affection? His figure spasms once more, the more sly-looking Milo. There was something quite thrilling about knowing that you had succeeded over and over again. How wonderful. It really did seem like we shaped you the way that we wanted. We? Exactly as we had planned from the start. I mean, don't do that. Milo's form wavered at your comment. From the start, my love? What do you mean? You stared at him for a while, dumbfounded. And then, you smile. All around him. You surrounded him, reaching out to him, clawing their way towards him. Another of you grabbed him before he could even move, a sharp smile holding him as he struggled. No matter what, he could never escape from you. The real you, the yous from all the times that you had broken him. Smiling, taunting him, laughing. You really don't know me at all, do you, Milo? Despite all these memories, all these lives, you still can't fathom who I really am. It's disappointing. Oh, Milo. But that's okay, my love. I'm a kind person. I won't leave your side. We'll do this again and again. I'll get Ryan to bully you so you'll meet me. We'll train so that you can be your perfect self. And if it's not enough, we'll do it all over again. We'll simply break you over and over again until you understand who we really are. Milo's figure was panicking now, trying desperately to escape the yous that bound him, the sweat dripping down his face. Don't worry, we'll make your dream come true. Let's just be trapped here together forever. Wait, what are you doing? I just wanted to make you happy. I gave you everything, so why is it that you... Please, please. He was begging silently, but the hands were grabbing at him more and more, drowning him. You stroked his hair gently, before grabbing his face. Don't worry, Milo. You'll be glad to see me soon. No. You could see the cracks in his face as you crushed his head. Shh, don't say anything, Milo. He's trying to keep his form together, but it was futile. You smiled. Good night, my love. I'll see you soon. The game just closed. What the hell is happening? There was a little dude in the... Did you see that? There was a little... What just happened? The professor was lecturing as you wrote down notes being a good student. Or at least you should have been. But more than anything, you felt like you wanted to hold something and squeeze the life out of them. He thinks he can just leave after all that effort I put into him? He's lucky that I'm such a kind person. You should have known he was too rebellious, too hesitant about what you wanted him to do. He was an absolute waste of space, a complete waste of time. You tried to focus on the lecture, but your mind wouldn't stop drifting back to him. Looking around the classroom, you tried to pick through the various students. Dating someone, too narcissistic, gets on your nerves. If you dated her, you'd bash her head into a rock. You locked eyes on a guy who was staring at you. He seemed to panic a bit before looking away, a quiet blush spreading across his cheeks. You cocked your head curiously. How long was he observing you for? Despite his large size, he seems to be hiding behind his books, nervously fidgeting with his bandaged fingers. His clothes were patched up with bandages on his face. Easy bully bait. Probably gets into accidents a lot. You touched your fingers to your forehead. A meek person like him would be the perfect candidate for your love. How easy it would be to mold him into what you wish. Won't it be fun? Milo? Milo change? The man who was staring at you stumbles around, startled by the professor. Yes? Sorry, I was just... Could you turn off the lights? Yes. He stumbled out of his seat, nearly tripping as he turned off the lights. Milo change, huh? You pulled out your phone, typing his name. Milo. You smile, feeling joy you haven't felt in a while. I'll make your dream come true. My true, perfect love. Okay, so we got a little bit of a backstory then. From that. Well, fuck! Oh my god. I got all the fucking endings again, so we could go see what the other option is. Took a hot second. You're lucky I like you guys. Okay, so last time we did give him everything, so now we'll do take. You should be happy, shouldn't you? The perfect love you always wanted right in front of you. Completely and totally for the taking. It's everything you ever wanted, right? Right? And yet it greatly irritated you. You didn't even have the chance to train him, to mold him into exactly what you wanted, even if he was the result of other versions of you training him. You never had the pleasure to. You would never be given the chance to make him just as you pleased, and that in itself was simply completely unacceptable. Milo looked flustered, but overjoyed. Oh my, so aggressive. You're mine now forever and always then, right? Milo, let me ask you, why do you think we met in the first place? He laughed giddily. That's easy. It was destiny, wasn't it? Oh, Milo, you're so naive. Do you really think that this was all by chance? I made all of this happen. From the moment you locked eyes on me, it was all over, Milo. The reason why Ryan tortured you all so much was because of me. What? You could see his pupils trembling as he clutched onto his head. No, that can't be true. My love would never do that. Oh, Milo, that's exactly what I would do. He couldn't stop it now, the tears streaming down his face. It's a shame you're such a liar, declaring me as your perfect love. As if you could have ever been. Why? Why would you do that? Why did you torture me like that? His body, his face, it was all breaking apart. His will, his love, his agony all spilling out. Ryan was... He almost made me want to end it all, and then you... No, I can't believe any of this. It was disgusting. It was unsettling. It was wonderful. Why would you do this? My love, my everything. Why? The answer is simple, of course, and something you should already know. I will do anything to get my perfect love. And that's why you'll let me end it all. Let's start from the beginning then, my love. He was struggling not to break under your words, your grip, trying to keep himself whole, to be all just one, for you. With that reddish ooze coming out of him, he was struggling to keep it together, but you wouldn't let him. Just break for me, Milo. Don't you think it's the least you could do? For someone as useless as you. It was hard to hear him, but he jumbled his words. No, no, I don't want it. I'm your perfect love. Everything I do, it's for you. Oh, I know, my dear Milo. That's why you'll break for me. You couldn't even see his mouth anymore. It was like watching a statue crumble before your eyes. His voice became smaller and smaller. No, please, Cece, I don't want to. Please don't make me go back to that life. I just want to be with you. Just you, only you. Please, I just... Bye, Milo. I'll see you again soon. Interesting. My saves weren't erased that time. So I wonder if I just should have done it the opposite way and just made things harder for myself. Anyways, this game was amazing. I was not expecting it to go meta like it did, but it's very cool that it did. I like the direction that it turned. I thought it was going to be just like a conglomeration of all of them in a situation. I didn't think it was going to be like the game was talking to you. You know. Please remember that if someone has to cut off your legs for you to be with them, that is not a good thing. That is not something you should want